Diary of Fate. Fate plays no favorite. It could happen to you.
Book 41, page 106.
In the Diary of Fate.
Yes, here it is. The name David Dexter. A clever man who outwitted himself. Dexter is not his real name, but in another moment, it will not matter. For the man who calls himself David Dexter will be dead. I will write his final entry in my diary. Listen well, all you who blame fate for your misfortunes. In a moment, I will read from the record of David Dexter in the Diary of Fate. Always a brilliant sort of fellow, David Dexter. Other men envied you your good looks, your smooth manners, and above all, your ability to dominate those around you. You were so sure of yourself that you didn't even pay heed to me. And now I, Fate, look back over the record to a single entry. An entry which set the final phase of the plan in motion. It was in your hotel room.
No. You can't bluff me, Dexter. You can't get away with it.
But I'm not bluffing, Lamar. I mean every word I say. Now, shall we complete our transaction?
But there's nothing but blackmail. And I will...
Call it whatever you like, Lamar, but I'm through talking about it. There. Maybe that'll help you make up your mind.
What do you want, Dexter?
You know what I want. A check from you for $100,000. And right now.
That was a mistake, David. But of course the whole affair was a mistake. Beginning with the day you arrived at the luxurious Rolling Sands Hotel, winter home of the wealthy, where you found just what you were looking for. A wealthy, attractive woman, alone and probably bored. For a generous tip, the desk clerk told you her name was Mrs. Stephen Lamar. That first evening, you arranged for a table conveniently near her at dinner. Then, an old device. A dropped napkin. A mumbled apology. And a charming smile. And soon you were chatting amiably with just the right amount of reserve in your manner and tone.
Are you planning to stay in Rolling Sands for the winter, Mr. Dexter?
Oh, no, probably only a few days, Mrs. Lamar. Chicago's so blustery this time of the year, I couldn't resist a bit of sunshine.
Chicago's your home?
Yes, I'm in the grain brokerage business there.
Oh, how interesting. My husband is a broker, too. You may have heard of him, Stephen Lamar of Lamar and Company in New York.
Oh, you don't say. Why, of course I've heard of him. I'd certainly like to meet him.
I imagine your chance of seeing him is even better than mine, Mr. Dexter.
Well, just what does that mean?
Oh, I really shouldn't have said that. I sound just like the typical complaining wife, but Stephen is always so busy that, well...
Oh, I understand, Mrs. Lamar. A situation of that sort doesn't allow for much companionship or home life, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's why I've decided that I'm going to buy a home here at Rolling Sands and stay permanently. If I'm to grow old alone, I might as well be comfortable.
Oh, Oh, come, Mrs. Lamar. You've years and years before you start thinking of that. Speaking of age, though, we're not too old for a dance or two in the ballroom after dinner, are we?
Oh, I haven't danced. I haven't danced for a long time, Mr. Texas.
And neither have I, but I'll chance it if you will.
Well, all right. Let's see.
That was a good start, David. When you left her at the end of the evening, you could see that Elaine Lamar was radiant. After that, there was nothing to do but follow your usual formula. Then one night, you knew the time had come. You and Elaine were sitting in your car far down the beach, silently watching the breakers dancing and tumbling in the moonlight.
Beautiful, isn't it, David?
Yes, it is, darling. Oh, I hate the thought of leaving all this. And you.
Leaving? Oh, David.
I've work to do, you know.
Oh, yes, of course you do, David. It's just that I've been so happy these past 2 weeks, and I guess I'd forgotten it had to end sometime.
Does it have to end, darling?
How can it be otherwise?
Oh, I love you, Elaine. Very much.
You shouldn't have said that, David.
And I think you love me. A little.
But I'm married.
Oh, you're not in love with Stephen, nor is he in love with you.
No. I can't deny that. For my part, I've been in love with only one man in my life. And I lost him.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
My first husband was killed in an accident out in Nevada 10 years ago.
In Nevada? What sort of an accident?
He was a mining engineer and had a syndicate with 2 other men to reclaim abandoned mines. They were just promoters. My husband did all the work.
Yes?
I got a letter from George saying that he didn't trust him. 2 days later, his body was found at the bottom of a mine shaft.
Oh, it's terrible. What happened?
The authorities called it an accident. But I always felt that he was murdered.
Murdered?
Yes. Every cent that I have and the fortune that Stephen has built up since we were married came from that mine. If those men thought they could get control of it by murdering George, they were mistaken. He had protected his claim thoroughly.
But, maybe it was an accident. Elaine.
Nobody will ever convince me of that, David.
Your husband, I've known a lot of mining men. What was his name?
George Evans.
No, I guess I never knew him. Who were those other 2, his partners?
I never met either of them. But I'll never forget their names as long as I live. Henry Ballard and Lowell Garrison.
Henry Ballard, Lowell Garrison, and George Evans. 3 names you had never expected to hear again. Your mind raced back 10 years to the hot, dusty afternoon when you and Henry Ballard stood at the brink of the mine shaft, straining to hear any sound that might come from below. At last, in the desert stillness, you looked at each other and nodded. You knew that George Evans was dead. You found later that killing him had been in vain, and you had parted company with Ballard. Tonight, a ghost had risen out of the past. It made you the more anxious to complete your plan and get away. So you decided to play your trump card when you met Elaine at breakfast the next morning.
Oh, there you are. Good morning, darling.
Good morning, David.
I'm sorry I was late, dear, but I've been on the phone. I have to go back right away. But I'll only be gone about a week, and from the looks of things, I can stay here the rest of the winter.
Wonderful. Tell me all about it.
Well, this is very confidential. Now, don't tell a soul.
I won't.
We're running a corner on the winter wheat market. We have a chance to make a fortune in the next few days. If wheat advances only 10 cents a bushel, we'll make over $500,000.
Sounds fantastic.
Not at all. That's how people make big money. Now, here's what I wanted to talk to you about. How much money do you have? That is, ready cash.
Well, I don't have very much with me, David.
Oh, but I thought you were going to buy a house here.
Oh, I have some negotiable bonds here at the bank that I'm going to use for that. $50,000.
Oh, good. Darling, I want to cut you in on this deal. Now, I can double, perhaps triple your money within a week.
You can?
Sure.
But suppose something goes wrong.
Well, nothing can. But even if it does, I'll personally guarantee that you get your money back. You can't lose.
Well, if you think that
I know, Elaine. Believe me, dear, it's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Well, all right. When are you leaving?
Well, there's a plane out of here to Chicago around 3 o'clock. And it's almost 11 now. If you'll go to the bank right after breakfast and get the bonds, I'll do a little packing and be ready to take that plane.
All right, David. I'll do it. It sounds wonderful.
It was working out perfectly, David, just as you had planned. Yes, it was a great day for you, David, except that you forgot me, Faith. Then another little thing happened. You had almost finished packing when the phone rang.
Yes?
David, this is Elaine. Something's happened.
Happened?
I've just received a telegram. Stephen's coming in on the afternoon train.
Oh. Well, that doesn't make any difference, does it?
Yes, David. I want to talk this over with him before I invest the bond.
Oh, but there isn't time, Elaine. I've got to go at 3 o'clock.
Well, then perhaps you'd better go on, David. Stephen understands all about these things, and, well, I'd feel better if he knew about it. I could wire you the money later.
Oh, no, that won't do, Elaine.
Well, then why don't you stay over until tomorrow? Have dinner with us tonight and explain it all to Stephen.
Well, yes, maybe I could do that.
Oh, wonderful. Meet us at our suite at 6 for cocktails, and then we'll all have dinner together.
All right, fine. Yes, I'll do that.
That's sweet of you, David. Bye.
Yes, goodbye. What do I do now?
Oh, hello,
Good evening.
David. Come in.
Oh, thanks, Elaine.
I've been telling Stephen how wonderful you've been to me. Oh, Stephen, this is Mr. Dexter.
What? Oh, how do you do?
How do you do, Mr. Lamar?
Now, I've mixed cocktails for you two, so suppose you drink them and get acquainted while I fix my makeup and get a wrap.
Yes, we'll do that, my dear.
I'll only be a moment.
Shut up, you fool.
So you are the great Stephen Lamar. Henry Ballard. How in the world did you ever get away with this?
Garrison, stop that. She'll hear you.
No, Mr. Lamar. Your name is Dexter. David Dexter.
Now, Lowell Garrison, alias David Dexter, you began to believe in me, Faith. But you thought I was on your side. You were wrong. I am but the instrument of a plan. And that plan is just. Hearken well, you who listen. In a moment, I shall read further from the record of David Dexter in the Diary of Fate. You thought you were on safe ground, David Dexter, when you met Stephen Lamar and found that he was really Henry Ballard, your former partner, and the man who had helped you kill George Evans, Elaine's first husband. Now you were elated. Here was the promise of a greater success than you had dreamed of. Stephen was moody all through dinner, but Elaine hardly noticed it. Her eyes were for you alone. Later, you and Lamar were alone in your room. Now you were ready for the next step.
What'll you have, Mr. Lamar? Bourbon or scotch?
Neither. Now, see here, Garrison.
Remember, you're Lamar, and I'm Dexter. We never heard of anyone named Ballard in Garrison, did we?
No. I guess we didn't.
You know, I've got to hand it to you, Stephen. You're a smarter guy than I thought you were.
Huh? What do you mean?
Why didn't I think of marrying George Evans' widow and cashing in on the mine like you did?
You're driving at something, Dexter. Just what is it?
You're a suspicious sort, aren't you, Stephen? Well, what I want from you is very simple. I'm going to invest some of your wife's money, $50,000, in the Chicago grain market.
That's a lie.
Let's not quibble, Stephen. All I want you to do is to assure her that it'll be a good deal.
What she does with her money is her affair.
Oh, I knew you'd see it that way. When she asks you about it, just tell her it's a great idea.
Is that all you want?
Yes, I think so.
And I'm going to bed.
Yes, you look like you do need some rest, Mr. Lamar. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, Stephen.
What do you want?
Funny, I just thought of something. I intended to invite you up here to my room for breakfast in the morning.
Sorry, I don't think I can make it, Dexter.
You'll make it. I'll expect you at 9:30.
It felt good to dominate a man as prominent as Stephen Lamar. Yes, David, you always got your way with people by one means or another. You knew he would be there in your room next morning.
Not eating very much, Stephen?
I'm not hungry. Now, look here, Dexter, just what do you want?
Well, I've been thinking, Stephen. You've made such a lot of money out of marrying Elaine, and I've made nothing. Yes. After all, we were partners in that deal, and I
know what you're driving at.
Well, that'll save a lot of talk.
You're in this just because I am.
Yes, but you have a lot more to lose than I have if anyone finds out the truth, Lamar. Isn't that right?
What do you want?
Well, let's just call it a nest egg, shall we? With Elaine's $50,000 and a check from you, I could get started. But without your check, I'm afraid someone might find out what really happened to George Evans.
No. You can't bluff me, Dexter. You can't get away with it.
But I'm not bluffing, Lamar. I mean every word I say. Now, shall we complete our transaction?
There's nothing but blackmail, and I will
Call
not
it what it is, Lamar, but I'm through talking about it.
What?
There. Maybe that'll help you make up your mind.
What do you want?
You know what I want. A check from you for $100,000. And right now.
All right, Dexter. You don't need that gun. I'll do it.
That's better. And one other thing. I want Elaine to think that everything is lovey-dovey with you and me. So we're all going to meet for lunch on the terrace at 1 o'clock sharp. Got that?
Yes.
And Elaine is to have those bonds with her then. I don't want any slip-up on this, you understand? You two be on the terrace at 1. Now write that check. I've got to get to the bank.
David, have you been waiting long?
Oh, why, no, darling. Just a few minutes. Where's Stephen?
Oh, that's what kept me, David. After I got back from the bank with the bonds, I went to our room to freshen up, and I found this note from Stephen.
Note?
Yes, it's rather strange. Listen to this. Elaine, I've been suddenly called back to New York on business and must catch the train at 1:45 in order to arrive there on time. sorry I could not wait to see you before I left. I'm due to arrive in New York at 4:30 and will phone you immediately. If you do not hear from me by 5 o'clock, there is a small bag I left in our room which I...
Oh, excuse me, Lance. Over here, waiter.
Here you are, sir. A very urgent phone call for you, sir. It's from a bank, they say.
A bank?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yes, I'll take it right away.
Thank you.
And since the check was for such a large amount, Mr. Dexter, naturally we had to call Mr. Lamar's bank in New York.
Yes, well, what about it?
Well, we found that Mr. Lamar had telephoned a stop payment order to his bank on that check this morning about 11 o'clock.
Does that mean that you can't cash the check for me?
That's right, Mr. Dexter. We can't.
That dirty crook. Waiter,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
get my car around front right away. And then tell Mrs. Lamar I'll see her later.
Yes, sir. Immediately.
1:14. This plane goes at 1:45. Plenty of time.
You hadn't counted on Stephen Lamar's betrayal, David. You didn't think he'd dare with the whip you held over him. And when you got back to the hotel that afternoon, you went immediately to your room and called Elaine.
Hello?
Elaine, this is David.
What happened to you at lunch? Why didn't you come back? It's almost 3:30.
I know, darling, but, I had to go to the bank, and I had a flat tire on the way back. Took quite a while to fix.
I understand, David. Have you made your plane reservation yet?
Yes, I'm to leave at 6:30. Do you have the bonds, dear?
They're in the hotel safe, but I'll get them out. You sound awfully tired, David.
I am.
Then why don't you lie down for a while a minute? I'll wait for you. Plenty of time to talk. And perhaps we can have a cocktail together before you go to the airport.
Oh, will you do that for me, Elaine?
Why, of course. Darling,
Oh, you're a wonderful girl.
I am not subject to flattery, Mr. Dexter.
Hello.
David,
Oh, Elaine.
yes, it's Elaine.
Time for me to get up, darling?
Yes, it is. 10 minutes after 5.
Oh, good. I've lots of time.
Yes. You have lots of time, David.
Did you get the bonds out of the safe?
I think you'd better come to my room as soon as you can.
Well, I thought we were going to have a cocktail, and you'd give them to me then.
I don't feel like a cocktail.
Okay. I'll be right there. As soon as I'm dressed.
Yes, David Dexter, you would be there. You felt confident as you dressed and started for Elaine Lamar's room. Confident that you had taken care of everything. And indeed you had. Everything, including your own death. Now it is time to write the final entry under the name of Lowell Garrison, alias David Dexter. In a moment when I have written, I will read again from the Diary of Fate. No mortal can long escape the reaping of his sowing. The end is certain if your decision be for evil. Even the cleverest of men cannot escape justice. And David Dexter had never felt more clever and confident than at this moment as he approached the door of Elaine Lamar.
Come in.
Hello, darling. Elaine, what have you got that gun for?
To make certain that you don't leave until the police get here. Mr. Lowell Garrison.
Garrison? Elaine, how did you... Oh, no, you don't, sister. You're not going to...
Get back!
You wouldn't shoot me. Give me that gun, Elaine.
My husband, Mr. Lamar, left instructions in his note for me to open the bag.
Mm-hmm. It just was it you wrote, Mrs. Lamar. I mean the instructions.
Here it is, Inspector. If you do not hear from me by 5 o'clock, there is a small bag I left in our room which you are to open. The contents will be self-explanatory. If I do call you by 5 o'clock, I will tell you what other disposition to make of it.
So you opened the bag, eh?
Yes. I delayed waking Mr. Dexter until after 5 o'clock so that my telephone line would be open in case Mr. Lamar called.
Hmm?
When 5 o'clock came, there was no call. I opened the bag,
Oh, naturally.
and I found this.
If it is necessary for you to read this, I will be dead. You'll know that Dexter caught me. Before I die, I owe you an explanation. A confession. Dexter is Lowell Garrison, and I am Henry Ballard. You know the rest. I am leaving you this gun in case you need it. I'm Stephen. And what do you know? You wrote a confession before Dexter killed him.
Dexter did kill him?
Yeah. We found Mr. Lamar's body in the grass an hour ago, ma'am. And this note tells us that Dexter was a murderer. Now it is time to close the book. A plan set in motion 10 long years ago is finally completed, finished. David Dexter is dead. Even fate, could not alter that plan. Elaine Lamar was exonerated for the shooting of David Dexter. For she shot in self-defense. Justice has been served. Ponder well the moral, you who listen, and remember, there is a page for you in the Diary of Fate.
Our cast included Herbert Litton, Tom Brown, David Ellis, Adrian Martin, Ray Erlenborn, Ivan Ditmars, and Hal Sawyer. Diary of Fate is a Larry Finley transcription, brought to you from Hollywood.
your host, Stephen Dark, welcoming you to Dark Arts Horror Radio, broadcasting from beyond the grave.
When was the last time you were afraid? Really afraid? 20th Century Fox presents The Mephisto Waltz, the sound of terror. Who are the beautiful people of the occult? What is the incredible secret of the black dog called Robin? What terrifying rituals do they perform by the light of a black candle? Brace yourself for the ultimate transplant. The human soul. Brace yourself for the Mephisto Waltz, starring Alan Alda, Jacqueline Bisset, Barbara Parkins, and Kurt Juergens. The Mephisto Waltz, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent. Brace yourself for the sound of terror. It comes every time you hear the Mephisto Waltz.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends. This is your host of the Inner Sanctum. Welcome through the squeaking door. Well, I hope you've spent a nice, quiet week building up your nervous systems. You're going to need plenty of red corpuscles to digest tonight's gory little dish. What's that? Oh, you'd like to have a recipe. To a small quantity of apprehension, add a pinch of dismay and cook on a slow fire. Adding dread and panic in appropriate quantities. Then throw in a dose of terror and a whiff of horror and make it boil, brother. Make it boil. Now, here's a personal question. How would you like to go on a honeymoon? Well, you're going on one whether you like it or not. Because tonight's story is called Till Death Do Us Part. It's an original radio play by Emil Tepperman. And our stars tonight are Ann Shepard and Larry Haynes. Just look at them. Joe and Nancy Page, married hardly 5 hours, and parked at the side of the road by the bank of the old mill stream, and whispering sweet nothings to each other, living in a fool's paradise.
Oh, gee, Nancy, it's wonderful to be married to you.
Oh, darling.
Gosh, if the other clerks at Scott's department store could see us now.
I don't want anybody to see us. I just want to be alone with you, Joe, for the rest of my life.
Gosh, baby, I hope you don't mind spending a honeymoon in a tourist cabin instead of a swanky hotel.
Joe, I love it this way. The stream rushing past, the moonlight shining on the bridge, and the woods all around. Joe, look, there's another car. They're parking on the bridge.
Uh-huh. Well, he's turning his headlights out, too. They think they've got privacy. Guess they can't see us parked here.
Joe, look. That couple is getting out of the car.
Yeah. For a walk on the bridge, I guess. Wonder if this is their wedding night, too.
Oh, that's a gorgeous couple. Joe?
What?
The couple, they're acting very strange.
They're having an argument.
Joe! Look what he just took out of his pocket.
Holy mackerel. A gun.
He's pointing the gun at her. Joe! He shot her in the face.
Holy mackerel. No, it can't be. It must be a gag of some kind.
But you saw the flashes when he fired the gun. And see how still she lies. Her body crumpled at his feet.
Yeah. He's picking her up. I bet he's going to throw her in the...
Joe, let him! Ow!
Nancy, you pushed my hand down on the horn. He sees us.
He's coming across the bridge.
Heading for us.
What?
He knows we witnessed a murder. He's got to kill us, too.
Oh, quick, start the car.
Stay here before I can turn the car around.
Then what'll we do?
Oh, we'll duck into the woods. Come on. Quick. Let's run.
My high heels, I can't run
You've
fast.
got to. Here, through these bushes. Get behind this tree.
He's getting out of his car. Joe, he has the gun. He means to kill us.
He's coming straight for this tree. He knows we're here. Nancy, we've got to run for our lives. Here, take my hand. Come on.
He's shooting at us.
Run, Nancy. Faster. Faster.
Joe, I'm tired. I can't go much farther.
We can't stop. He's close behind us.
Is he gaining on us?
No, nobody's still after us.
Oh, let's stop and rest.
No, not yet. I saw headlights up ahead. Maybe there's a road. If we can only make it.
Joe, I'm through. I can't go anymore.
Nancy, look. Through the trees. The road. Come on, one last sprint. Here's the road. Let's stop.
I never thought we'd make it. Is he still after us? Coming through the woods?
I don't know. We'll stop the first car that comes along. Oh, now take it easy, baby.
I was just thinking of that poor girl lying dead on the bridge.
Our wedding night, too. Here comes the car. I'll stop it.
It isn't stopping.
He went right by.
Joe.
What?
I think I hear something behind us. In the woods.
Oh, it's only the wind and the trees.
Suppose he should suddenly step out of these woods with his gun.
Maybe he gave up. Maybe he went back to take care of that body.
Our car's there. With our marriage license in the glove compartment and the receipt Mrs. Swenson gave us for the cabin.
Yeah. He'll know all about us. Who we are, where to find us.
And we don't know a thing about him except his face. The face of a murderer.
Come on, Nancy. I think we better start walking. We've got to get to the cabin and phone the police.
How much further, Joe?
Just around the bend.
Oh, I'd like to lie down and sleep right here on the road.
Fine way to spend a wedding night.
Darling, look. We're there. Swenson's cabin. See, they're all dark. Everybody's asleep.
We'll wake up Mrs. Swenson. Use her phone.
Joe.
What's the matter?
Look, in front of our cabin.
What? Hey. That's our car.
The murderer must have come here by another road to wait for us.
I don't see anybody around.
Maybe he's in the car.
Wait here, I'll go and see.
No, Joe, you'll kill him.
No, don't worry. We both saw his face. He's got to kill us both. Don't you see, baby? If I go over there alone, he won't show till he knows where you were.
But, Joe,
now, take it easy, will you? You stay back here in the shadows. It'll be all right. It's okay, Nancy. Car's empty.
Maybe he's hiding somewhere close by.
No, he must have skipped out.
But why'd he bring our car back?
Well, he wanted to get away from the bridge. Don't you see, he must have dumped that girl's body in the river, and then he took our car away. No trace.
Joe, I'm scared. Maybe he's hiding inside the cabin waiting for us.
No, he'd be a sap. One shot would wake up all the people in the other cabins, and Mrs. Swenson, too. You know, he'd never get away with it. Come on, we'll go in our cabin and get cleaned up, then we'll use the phone. Switch is right here. There. See? There's nobody hiding. Holy mackerel.
What is it?
Oh. Over there. On the bed.
What?
The girl's body. With her face shot away. Just like we saw on the bridge.
Well. Imagine coming back to your cabin on your wedding night and finding a corpse on your bed. A beautiful corpse who'd had her face lifted without going to a beauty parlor. Don't worry, before the night's over, the murderer may have his face lifted, too, by a rope around his neck. And now let's get back to that cabin. See how Joe and Nancy are getting along with their uninvited visitor, the corpse in their cabin. Yes, it's one of those times when two's company and three's a shroud. I wonder what they're going to do with her, don't you?
Now, listen, Nancy, we have to think this over. We're in a jam. For the love of Pete, Nancy, this is no time to faint.
Oh, darling, it's awful. Her face shot away.
Don't look at her. Here, sit down.
Joe, what'll we do?
I don't know. I have to think. On our wedding night to have a thing like this happen.
Why did he leave her here?
To put us in a spot. The cops will never believe our story now. They'll think we killed her.
We? But, Joe, we never saw her before in our lives.
Nancy, we've got to get rid of her.
What?
Sure, we've got to take her back. Back to the bridge and dump her right back on the murderer.
Oh, no.
It's the only thing we can do. Suppose the cops come here and find her. They'll grill us for hours. They'll hold us for the inquest. It might take a week, 2 weeks. A fine way to spend a honeymoon in jail.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Sure, we've got to do it. We've got to take her back.
But that means we have to lift her up and carry her.
I'll carry her, baby. But you'll have to help.
Oh, Joe, I couldn't.
You've got to, honey.
What must I do?
Now, look. You go out and get the back door of the car open, and I'll bring her out.
Joe. Joe, they'll find us here with the body.
Quick. Throw the blanket over her. I'll see who it is.
I can't go near her.
Do as I say, quick.
I'll try. Give me a minute.
Who is it?
It's I, Mrs. Swenson.
It's Mrs. Swenson. Have you got her covered up?
The blanket, it's too short.
Just a minute, Mrs. Swenson. Her feet are sticking out. Get those clothes out of the valise. Throw them on top of her.
That's the best I can do.
All right, sit on the bed in front of her feet.
Please hurry, Mr. Page.
Coming, Mrs. Swenson. Everything okay, Nancy?
Yes, but I feel faint.
Oh, bite your lip. Do anything, but don't faint now. Good evening, Mrs. Swenson.
Good evening, Mr. Page. I hope I'm not intruding. I saw your light, so I knew you weren't asleep yet.
We were just going to sleep. Weren't we, Nancy?
Yes.
I should have thought you'd be asleep long ago. See, I brought you a jug of my own homemade apple cider. I'll put it right here, and some glasses, too.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Swenson.
That's awfully nice of you.
Yes.
Oh, not at all. It's so nice to have a honeymoon couple. I wanted to do it earlier, but my heart was bothering me. I have a bad heart, you know.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Mrs. Swenson. Well, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Well, aren't you going to try my cider? I thought you'd like to drink a toast.
Well, we're not very thirsty right now, Mrs. Swenson. Are we, Nancy?
No.
Oh, no, of course not. Now I'll run right along and leave you both strictly alone.
Yes. Well, good night, Mrs. Swenson, and thanks again.
Good night, Mrs. Swenson.
Oh, you poor dear. You look all tuckered out sitting there on the bed. I bet you don't even know how to make up a bed. Here, I'll make it up for you.
Oh, no.
Well, it's the least I can do. Now you just sit over here on the chair.
No, please don't. Oh, why?
Well, she means, please don't bother.
Well, it's no bother at all. Oh, now look at all those clothes all thrown around. Oh! What's this?
We can explain everything, Mrs. Swenson.
Shot! She's been shot in the face. Murdered.
No, please, Mrs. Swenson, it's not what you
Murdered.
No.
You're no honeymooner.
No.
You're murderers.
No, we...
Please.
Stop that.
Let me go. Let me go.
Shut up.
Let me go.
Stop that.
Joe, look out. You're fluttering her. Joe, your hands.
I'm just
Look out.
trying to stop her yelling. Please, Mrs. Swenson. Stop me.
Joe, what happened?
I don't know. She just went limp and slid down on the floor. Mrs. Swenson. Mrs. Swenson, are you all right? Mrs...
Joe, what is it?
She's dead.
Joe, you killed her. You smothered her to death.
I'm a murderer. Me, Joe Page, a killer. We started out on a honeymoon, and now I'm a murderer. I'm a murderer. Isn't that a laugh?
Joe!
Oh, I was kind of dizzy for a second.
Joe, please. Please, darling. You look like a ghost. You're trembling.
Nancy, what are we going to do?
Are you sure she's dead?
Yeah. Look at her face. Sure she's dead. And that one on the bed. We're in a jam, Nancy. In a jam.
Darling, I wish I were dead, too.
They'll hold us for murder, Nancy.
But it was an accident. You didn't mean to kill Mrs. Swenson.
Yeah, but how will we ever prove we didn't kill the other one, too? We'll never be able to find that guy with the black roadster. The cops will pin the rap on us.
Don't take me out of here. I can't stand it. Her on the bed, Mrs. Swenson on the floor. Oh, let's go way far away.
You mean run away?
Yes. Anything, but let's not stay here. I won't go to jail. I won't. Take me away.
Yeah, sure. Sure, we'll get out. We'll keep going. Nobody knows our names. They can't trace us.
No.
Come on. Get the clothes packed.
Joe, I can't close this valise.
I'll close it. You get the other one packed. And don't forget anything. Look under the bed.
Yeah.
Be sure we don't leave a single thing behind.
No, we mustn't leave anything behind. Everything's packed, Joe. Hurry now. Hurry.
Yeah, all right. I'll take the bags. You put the lights on.
Yeah.
Snap the catch. We'll lock the door. Hey.
What? What's wrong?
I just thought. Our fingerprints. All over the place.
What do we do?
We have to wipe them off. Off everything. Grab a towel. We'll wipe everything in sight.
Wiped everything, Joe, I think.
The bedstead?
Yeah?
The bathroom? The faucet?
Yeah.
Yeah. The doorknobs? Dressers?
Yeah.
And the water pitcher?
Yes.
Well, I guess that's all. Let's go.
Joe! Huh? Cider jug. We didn't wipe the cider jug.
Well, we didn't touch it.
I'll wipe it anyway.
Okay. Snap it up, will you?
Okay.
All right. Come on then. Oh, I'll feel better in the car out on the road.
You think we forgot anything?
I don't know. I can't think. I'm numb all over.
Oh, my darling.
Holy mackerel, Nancy. I'm a murderer. A killer running away. Oh, we shouldn't have done it. We shouldn't have run away.
Joe, it's not as if you killed her on purpose. It was an accident.
Nancy, do you realize you're married to a murderer?
No, it wasn't murder.
It was so easy. So easy to kill. I never thought it could be so easy. All I did was to hold my hand over her face.
Joe, please.
What time is it?
It's almost 2:00. We've been driving for an hour.
Got a cigarette?
Yeah.
I think there are some in the glove compartment.
Yeah, I'll get them. Joe.
What?
Our marriage license. It's gone.
What? You sure?
It's gone, Joe. It was right here.
The murderer. He took it.
Why? Why would he take our marriage license?
I don't know. I can't think straight anymore.
Joe, he knows our names. He knows everything about us. Darling, there's no use running away. He knows who we are. We'll always be at his mercy.
I feel all in. I can't drive anymore. I've got to rest and think.
Pull up at the side of the road. Look, see? Up ahead, a gas station closed for the night. We'll park there.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I could sleep. I wish I could sleep for 100 years.
My poor Joe. Here, put your head on my shoulder.
First night of our honeymoon. And maybe the last.
Joe. Joe, it's 6 o'clock.
Oh. Hey, it's daylight.
Yeah.
Gosh, I slept all through the night.
I guess I fell asleep, too. Oh, it's chilly.
Yeah. You should have closed the windows. Gee, honey, you look pretty with your hair mussed up. Gosh, your hands are cold. Here, let me warm them.
This is our first morning together.
Yeah. First morning together. But this isn't the way I used to dream about it. Oh, baby, how'd we ever get in a mess like this? We're back where we were last night, in the same jam. Nothing's changed. Those 2 corpses still in the cabin. What'll we do?
Darling, let's not think about it for a while yet. Let's go find a place for breakfast. Our first breakfast together. After that, we'll go back to thinking about it. But at least let's have those few minutes as a sort of stay of execution.
Yeah, baby, okay.
Look, there's a place. A diner.
Yeah, but I haven't got much appetite.
What we both need is something hot.
You think there's an alarm out for us yet?
Darling, let's not think about it.
No other customers inside. That's great.
Good morning. You've been traveling all night?
Yeah, all night. Some scrambled eggs, please.
Right. That'll take a few minutes. That's all right. We'll wait. Well, I'll turn the radio up for you.
Your friendly neighborhood station with the early morning local news. During the night, death came to Mrs. Hannah Swenson, whose tourist cabins are located on the Bay Park Highway. Mrs. Swenson's body was discovered by Oscar Jansen, the handyman, who was awakened by the sound of a car driving away from one of the cabins. Investigating, he found Mrs. Swenson lying on the floor of cabin 3. Dr. Macklin, who was summoned immediately, announced that Mrs. Swenson had died of a heart attack. He had been treating her for a severe heart ailment.
A heart attack, and I didn't kill her.
She didn't say anything about the other body.
Shh, quiet.
The state police are anxious to contact a couple who occupied the cabin and who apparently left during the night. They are traveling in a blue 4-door sedan, license number 8N1637. Their names are not known as yet, but if they should hear this broadcast, they are requested to call at the state police barracks.
Let's get out of here, Nancy.
State police are
Say, what about your eggs?
Can't wait. We're in a hurry. Come on, Nancy.
What does it mean? Why didn't he mention the other body?
It's a trap, honey. Get it? They're keeping mum about the girl's body.
No, Joe, I don't think so.
Well, what else could it be? We left 2 bodies there, didn't we?
Darling, stop the car, please. Maybe the real murderer was waiting close by all the time. Maybe after we left, he went in and took the girl's body away again.
I don't like it. I want to get away from here, far away.
Joe, wait. Look, darling, don't you realize you're not a murderer? You didn't kill Mrs. Swenson. It was a heart attack.
That's what they say. I say it's a trap. Let's get moving. Come on.
No, it's too late. Look.
State troopers.
Yeah, he's coming right over here.
Sure, he's got this license number. Well, baby, I guess our honeymoon's over.
Are you Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Page?
Yeah.
You're Joe Page?
Yeah, that's right.
And you, lady, you're Nancy Page?
Yes?
Well, then, this belongs to you.
What? What is it?
Take it.
Marriage license.
What? Where'd you get it?
One of our men happened to be cruising down by the old mill stream last night. Saw a fella get out of a roadster on the bridge carrying a girl's body. Fella dumped the girl over the rail, and our man went after him. They had a gunfight, and the fella got a slug through the heart. When we went through his car, we found this. On the back of it, you notice he wrote your license number.
Then you got the murderer?
Sure did. But we didn't recover the body of the girl. It was carried downstream. May take several days to find it.
Then we're not wanted for anything?
Well, your other folks were in Mrs. Swenson's cabin last night. We figure you left in a hurry. Kind of embarrassing to have a thing like that happen on your honeymoon, huh? Can't blame you.
Oh, we're free to go on our honeymoon?
Just come down to the barracks and sign a statement, and then you can be on your way.
Would you mind, officer? Just a few minutes. We want to go back in the diner for our honeymoon breakfast.
Say, what's going on here? 2 measly murders and a happy ending. I was hoping Joe and Nancy would end up in a cell with a warden asking them what they wanted for their last meal. What do I get instead? A wedding breakfast. The crowd down at the morgue are going to laugh at me for this. It won't be their last laugh either. No, they had that already. Yes, I have a feeling that somebody's been tampering with tonight's story.
I'm an expert on rugs. You see, I'm a cat, and my favorite place to sleep is on a scatter rug. That's why they call me Ruggy. Now, one place you don't want to put a scatter rug is at the top or bottom of the stairs. If you slip on a rug on your way up or down, you can fall and go, meow! So, take it from me. Keep those rugs away from the stairs in your quarters, and put them where cats like me can sleep in perfect peace.
And now a parting word of advice, friends. Our solution for eliminating crime. The perfect way to prevent any murderer from committing murder is to commit the murderer before he commits the murder. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Whistling Leg by Roman McDougall. And now it's time to close the squeaking door, so good night. Pleasant dreams.
It's 6:30 and time to return to the good old days of radio drama as we present The Secrets of Scotland Yard.
I want to tell you today about a certain Henry Fauntleroy. No, don't mistake me. I know what you're thinking. You're conjuring up a picture of a child in brown velveteen knee breeches and jacket with a big white lace collar and golden curls hanging over his shoulders. That innocent and rather obnoxious infant hero of 19th century fiction, Little Lord Fauntleroy, in fact. Henry Fauntleroy was a very different kettle of fish. It's true he was born a gentleman, descended, so tradition says, from a natural son of the captive King John of France, whence came the name, an anglicized version of l'enfant, le roi. It's true, too, that in childhood and adolescence he led a sheltered and genteel life and was something of a mother's boy. But there the resemblance ends. Little Lord Fauntleroy would never, I'm sure, have descended to forgery, even if he had an aptitude for it. Henry Fauntleroy did and expiated his crime on the scaffold. For until 120 years ago, we must remember, embezzlement and forgery were hanging matters in England. In 1792, an institution which became known as the Bernard Street Bank was established in the London thoroughfare of that name. It was run in partnership by Sir James Sibbald and Messrs. Josiah Stacey and William Marsh. But since none of these gentlemen had any head for finance, they entrusted the active control to one William Fauntleroy. Under Fauntleroy's guidance, the bank weathered several financial storms in its first 15 years. Indeed, so able was he that the others had little to do save collect their regular dividends, and no doubt utter a silent prayer of thanks for the ability and business acumen of their hard-working partner. But even the best of good things was sent, and on March 22nd, 1807, William Fauntleroy very inconsiderately died. Thrown into a panic by this untoward event, the three bankers met in conference.
As I see it, gentlemen, the question is this. Should we take into the business some other man to replace Fauntleroy, or should we make an effort to run the bank ourselves?
Don't be absurd, Sibbald. We wouldn't last 6 months.
Oh, I don't know.
Marsh is right. We'd be bankrupt before we knew it. What do you know of high finance? What do any of us know? Not a thing.
We could learn, couldn't we?
My dear fellow, one's either born with a flair for that sort of thing or one's not. Do let us recognize our own limitations. Besides, think of the work it would mean. We never even have a spare moment. If you're the fancy to chain yourself to an office desk, do so by all means. But it's not my idea of a pleasant life.
Perhaps you're right. Well, very well, then we replace Fauntleroy, but with whom?
There must be some competent man in the city we can woo with a sufficiently tempting offer.
Well, that fellow Johnson at the Bank of England.
No.
Hutchins, for instance?
Wouldn't trust him an inch.
I see your point. Well, now, let's think.
I don't see why we have to go outside our own house. What do you mean? My dear fellow, I am not referring to a what, I am referring to a who. In other words, our late partner's son.
Young Henry?
Precisely. Hang it, old man. Well, I mean to say Henry's a fine young lad and all that, but he's only a boy. Nonsense, he's 23.
23? Hardly out of swaddling clothes?
My dear Sibbald, we've known for a long time that Henry Fauntleroy has inherited his father's genius for figures. There is not the slightest question he's by far the best clerk we've ever had here. That's all true enough, but do you deny his seriousness? No. His industry? No. His scrupulous honesty?
Good heavens, no. We admit he's a model young man in every way.
Then what on earth has age to do with it? It seems to me he's the ideal choice.